You're coming with me. A mysterious gunslinger found Nurse, feigning by the stagecoach. Beginning. The desert stretched endlessly, a sea of dust and dying sunlight. The town of Iron Butte lay at its heart, a mining settlement perched between ruin and survival. Wooden planks creaked beneath the boots of strangers, and the sound of clinking spurs often carried bad news. Yet on this particular evening, something stranger than the desert sun was about to touch Iron Butte. The stagecoach from New El Paso rattled into town, pulled by mechanical horses. Steam-driven constructs, part machine, part beast, smoke puffing from their nostrils like angry bulls. The coach came to a grinding halt near the saloon. Among the passengers was a young woman dressed in pale blue. Her hair, the color of wheat fields in late summer, was bound neatly beneath a nurse's bonnet. Her name was Clara Dwyer, and she had traveled for days across harsh terrain to reach Iron Butte. She was exhausted, and the town's rough faces staring at her only added to her unease. Clara stepped down carefully, clutching her small satchel. She was not here by chance. Someone had written to her, a plea for help. A mining epidemic was sweeping through Iron Butte, men coughing blood, fever spreading like wildfire. But before she could steady herself on the dirt road, her knees buckled. The heat, the journey, the hunger, too much. Clara fainted beside the wheel of the stagecoach, and that was when she heard it. A low, firm voice, rough as gravel yet strangely steady. You're coming with me. She opened her eyes to a shadow blocking out the sunset. A tall figure, wide-brimmed hat pulled low, stood over her. His duster coat was dark, his boots coated in dust, and at his hip rested a gleaming pistol. Not the ordinary kind, but long, with blue etchings glowing faintly along its barrel. His face was scarred, his eyes hidden behind amber lenses. The townsfolk muttered as he bent down, lifting Clara with surprising gentleness. "Who is he?" someone whispered. "That's the gunslinger," another replied in awe. "No one knows his name. Some call him Shade. Some say he ain't even human." Clara's vision blurred, but she heard the gunslinger's voice once more as he carried her away. "Rest easy, nurse. You're needed here. And whether you like it or not, you're coming with me." Middle. When Clara awoke, she found herself in a dimly lit room. The smell of oil lamps and metal filled her nose. The place was not a doctor's office, but an abandoned rail station turned into a kind of outpost. The gunslinger sat across the room, polishing his strange pistol. "You're awake," he said without looking up. Clara pulled her shawl closer, unnerved. "Why did you bring me here? Who are you?" He finally lifted his gaze. His eyes, though hidden behind amber lenses, seemed to pierce straight through her. "Name's not important. Folks call me Shade." "That'll do." "And why did you bring me here?" she pressed. Shade leaned back in his chair. "Because this town is dying. The miners are sick. Whatever's killing them, it ain't natural. They sent for a healer. That's you. You've been picked apart by thieves if I left you lying in the dirt." Clara frowned. "You talk as if you know exactly what's happening." "I know enough," Shade replied darkly. That night, Shade escorted Clara to the miners' barracks. The air reeked of coal dust and sickness. Dozens of men lay on cots, hacking their skin pale, their veins glowing faintly with sickly green shimmer. Clara had never seen anything like it. "This isn't any fever, I know," she whispered, kneeling beside a patient. She touched the man's forehead. His skin burned like fire. Something's inside them. Something spreading. Shade's jaw tightened. "Not something. Someone." He then revealed what the townsfolk feared to say aloud. The mines of Iron Butte had struck more than silver. They had struck a vein of alien crystal buried deep beneath the desert. Shards of it had been carted up to the surface, used in lamps, trinkets, even in the water filters. And slowly it was poisoning everyone. But Shade knew more. He had been tracking the crystal for years. It was not just mineral. It was alive. A remnant of something from beyond the stars. Something that fed on living hosts. "The miners woke it," he said grimly. "Now it wants a whole town." Clara shivered. "Then we have to stop it." Shade nodded. "That's why you're here." For days, Clara treated the sick with poultices, herbs, and what medicine she had carried. Yet she realized quickly that human remedies could not cure alien corruption. The glowing veins worsened. Patients began murmuring in strange tongues at night, as though the crystal itself was whispering through them. Meanwhile, Shade vanished often, returned with weapons and strange devices. His pistol, Clara learned, fired not bullets but bolts of energy, designed to shatter the crystalline infection. One night, as Clara attended to a young boy burning with fever, the child's chest convulsed. From beneath his skin, a shard of crystal burst outward, sharp and glimmering. Clara screamed, but before the shard could spread further, Shade appeared, firing a searing shot. The shard shattered to dust. Clara looked at him in horror. You killed him. Shade shook his head. No, he's still alive. But another few minutes, and he wouldn't have been. The boy stirred weakly, still breathing. Clara stared in disbelief. You're not just a gunslinger, she whispered. What are you? Shade's silence was telling. The townsfolk began to whisper of war. The infection was spreading too fast. Some wanted to abandon Iron Butte. Others wanted to burn it all. And then came the night when the mines themselves came alive. From deep underground, glowing fissures spread across the earth. Crystal spires erupted from the ground like jagged teeth. Men screamed as shards pierced through the soil, twisting into monstrous shapes. The alien presence had awakened fully. Iron Butte became a battlefield. Climax. Shade dragged Clara into the chaos. Stay behind me, he shouted as a crystalline beast lunged from the ground. It resembled a wolf made of shards, glowing eyes burning green. Shade's pistol roared with blue fire, shattering the beast into fragments. Clara, trembling, clutched her satchel. She was no fighter, but she realized her role was not to kill, it was to save. Every time Shade blasted the crystal infection out of a victim, she rushed in to stabilize them, stopping their bleeding, stitching wounds, bringing them back from the brink. Together, they became a strange pair, gunslinger and nurse, destruction and healing. Yet Shade knew the truth. Destroying fragments would never be enough. The source was still in the mines. The heart of the crystal hive pulsed beneath Iron Butte, calling to its growing army. We end this tonight, Shade told Clara, loading his pistol. You're coming with me. She stared at him, afraid yet resolute. Then I'll see it through. They descended into the mines, lanterns casting long shadows. The tunnels glowed faintly with green light. Whispers filled the air, pressing against their minds. Clara clutched her ears, trembling. It's talking to us. Shade gritted his teeth. Ignore it. It'll promise you anything. Don't listen. At the lowest cavern, they found it, the crystal heart, a massive formation, pulsating like a living organ, veins spreading across the stone. From its surface, faces appeared and faded. Miners who had been consumed, their souls trapped within. Clara's breath caught. Dear God! The heart spoke, not with sound, but inside their minds. Join us, nurse healer. Clara staggered. The crystal offered her visions of endless knowledge, of curing every disease, of saving countless lives if only she surrendered. Shade fired into the heart, breaking its spell. Don't listen, he roared. The cavern erupted. Shards broke free, twisting into creatures. Shade fought fiercely, blasting them apart, but there were too many. Clara realized then that brute force alone would not stop the hive. She looked at her satchel. Among her tools was a vial of silver nitrate, a compound she had used to sterilize wounds. The alien crystal fed on human essence, but what if it was poisoned by purity? By something that cleansed? As Shade was dragged down by crystalline tendrils, Clara ran forward, clutching the vial. She smashed it against the crystal heart. A scream like tearing metal filled the cavern. The crystal writhed, its glow flickering. Shade broke free, seizing the chance. He unleashed the full power of his pistol, blasting the heart until it shattered into blinding shards. The hive collapsed. The creatures fell lifeless. The whispers ceased. Iron Butte was saved. Ending. Days later, the town began to heal. The infected slowly recovered, their veins fading back to normal. The crystal remnants were buried deep, sealed away. Clara became the town's angel, the nurse who had fought against an alien plague. But she knew the truth. Without Shade, Iron Butte would have been lost. And yet, Shade was already preparing to leave. Clara found him at the edge of town, saddling his horse. You're leaving, she said softly. Shade adjusted his hat. Always do. But why? You could stay. These people need you. Shade shook his head. They need you, not me. My fight's out there. He looked toward the horizon, where other towns lay, other mines, other buried horrors. Clara hesitated, then asked a question that had haunted her. Were you really? Shade paused, then gave the faintest of smiles. Just a man who's seen too much. Maybe not entirely human anymore, but human enough to keep fighting. He mounted his horse. Clara's heart ached, but she nodded. Then, thank you. Shade tipped his hat. No, nurse. Thank you. You gave them hope. Me, I just shoot things. And with that, the mysterious gunslinger rode into the desert, disappearing into the setting sun. But Clara knew their paths would cross again. For in a world where alien horrors slumbered beneath the earth, the fight was far from over. And somewhere out there, Shade would one day whisper to someone else in need, "You're coming with me